Hello everyone. How's it going? Y'all are doing well tonight. I will be your runner of Crash Bash, GoCubbies, along with my fabulous commentator, Bad News Nate. Say hello.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for having me, Cubbies. I really do appreciate it. This is a great time to remind everybody that Crash Bash is definitely a fun game to play. We'll say that. But also, above all, this category that Cubbies will be doing is the any percent no MM. So MM in abbreviation stands for memory manipulation. Memory manipulation runs are a little bit shorter and require more execution. But for no memory manipulation, this is just a standard any percent speed run for the most part.
Yeah, it's just basically any percent, all on skill, no luck involved whatsoever. Sarcasm included. Anyway, yeah, you get to play all of the levels in the base game. There'll be 4 warp rooms, obviously starting with warp 1. And we'll just pick Tiny here because he is the best character. I will hear no arguments otherwise. And I may reset once or twice, but I'll keep the timer going as per recommendation. But anyway, we want to get Brio as second opponent and not Cortex, because Cortex actually throws slightly further and slightly faster in the crate levels and a couple other minor things that aren't worth going into at the moment. But in any case, here we go. 3, 2, 1, memes. Oh, there we go.
All right, got Brio. So the RTA timer does not actually start until you move in the warp room. So right about here is when movement starts. And the first level that Cubbies has selected is Jungle Bash. Jungle Bash basically is just a crate throwing level where you have regular crates, TNT crates, nitro crates, and there are also random Wampa fruit that spawn throughout the course of the map. Wampa fruit regenerates your health for the most part, so this is just a straightforward mini game, and think of this like the Mario Party of mini games for the most part, or for Crash Bandicoot games in this case. But that is actually a fantastic start. I haven't seen too many 114 times left on that stage, so Cubbies is off to a flying start here.
Proud of that. Good start to the run. Question.
And now there are also, instead of trophies, there's also gem and crystal challenges. We will cover each of those as we progress throughout the course of the run. But for the trophy, basically you have to win 3 times, and there are, again, different gem and crystal challenges as well. And we'll get to that after this trophy challenge, but right now Cubbies already has 2 trophies. I'll be looking to get 1 more here.
Kick by rope.
Now, one superior advantage that Tiny has, similar to what Kong has as well, is that Tiny can throw crates at a much more farther distance by a wide margin. Like, it's not even close. Brio can launch crates pretty far as well, but not as far as both Tiny and or Kong.
And Cortex.
And Cortex as well, yes.
That is true. I am, in fact, a Cubs fan. The name is very deceiving. Also, yeah, Lamau White Sox this year. Can I get an F in chat for them? That's a oof from me on that one.
Hey, it's only like 20 games into the regular season. I mean, there's still a long way to go.
That is true. That is true.
All right, so as you saw Cubbies complete the trophy, now we go to the gem challenge. So as you notice, there is a timer in which you have to complete this challenge. For this particular gem challenge, it is 45 seconds. Different mini games will have different timers for gem challenges and or different scenarios or requirements to complete the challenge as well. It's the same mini game, just basically, again, you're on a timer to try and complete the challenge itself, and that's a good gem right there. Very nice.
That was really good. It's a little afraid with that nitro hit from, I think, Brio. Yeah. Was ultimately helpful, as I think everyone got a piece of it, myself included. So really good Jungle Bash to start.
Yeah, this is a good start. Now for the what I consider a pretty difficult challenge, actually, the crystals. So There are random nitro crates that will fly from the background, as you'll see here in the very center. You have to avoid those, and plus you take more damage on this crystal challenge as opposed to both the trophy and gem challenges. So you have to be extremely careful, and you have to keep on moving to avoid those nitro crates.
And if you're lucky and or skillful, you can get the nitros to hit the AI as well. Tried to get one with Brio there, you might have seen, but it just didn't quite work out. That's okay.
Yeah.
Gonna try and play it slightly safe here. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, still got plenty of time here.
Easy.
And there we go. First try on the crystal. So that is Jungle Bash, and well, that was a very interesting challenge, I will say.
Alright, let's call it a 353. Yeah, it's about on par with PV, give or take.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Maybe a little faster, actually. I have
So,
a different route here.
Before we move on to this next minigame here for Polar Panic, I want to shout out to the world record holder for Crash Bash, It's Elite MN. I want to shout him out because this is primarily the stage that he's mostly stuck on because he's mostly resetting in Warp 1.
Yeah. No kidding. I will give you that. This is basically Elite's second home, and to be Choled until a couple of months ago, mine as well, because this is the one most people, if you're smart, like to start with because of how interesting this can go. However,
without question.
Thanks to my keen willingness to be not stubborn, I decided to the first of many fails. Totally avoidable.
Yeah. So another thing with this as well is that you saw that beam shoot down from overhead. Those can do multiple things. They can either increase the size of your character, decrease the size, shrink your character. They can give you a lightning power up, or they can give you a weight. And weights usually are on a timer. But unfortunately, Cubbies took a very, very bad leap there. So now he's on a 2-0 handicap here to Rillaroo.
Alright, throwing for content, making it look good for the fans. No big deal.
Oh, definitely.
Get out of here.
Alright, well, at least Rilla got knocked out there. Alright, so in Polar Panic, normally our strategy is to knock over these chunks of ice that are surrounding the edge of the arena. And once we do that, then normally we just push the AI off the edge of the arena and just go from there.
Yep, real. Thank you for the raid, by the way, Julia. Appreciate you stopping by. Good to see you here.
Yeah, it's always great to have everybody join in as well, and we appreciate everybody again stopping by and supporting all the runners during Retrothon this year. Again, it's a great honor to be back. This is my second Retrothon, being a part of something very special, and this is Cubbies' first Retrothon.
Indeed, very exciting.
All right.
Wow,
okay, that was actually pretty funny. Both Rilla and Brio both targeted Kong in the corner there. Normally, you don't see that too often in the later Polar stages, but that's one where it actually helped Cubbies and actually propelled them to make a comeback in that round. So
love to see it. Also, I have to say it there because it worked out. Imagine having a 2-0 lead and blowing it. Yep, there's a good baseball reference in there somewhere, I'm sure.
Oh, there's multiple ways. Like there's a 2-0 lead, and I see what you did there. Oh, come on. Okay, that stings because I am a Guardians fan. Okay, well, then again.
All
right, so let's talk about this gem challenge. So the gem challenge is 60 seconds long. It's the same thing as some of the other gem challenges, but the AI do tend to push every now and then, and they can recover from the edge as well. So that's something to kind of watch out for, but considering we do the same stuff, yeah, we do the same stuff as we usually do in the trophy, and just it helps us out big time.
I like a clip of that. Getting 2 for 1 never happens for me there. And
yeah, that was it. That was
seconds?
Insane. Yeah, wow. That's clip worthy for sure.
Jeez.
Okay, so we have the crystal coming up here. So it's the same thing as both the trophy and the gem, but except that beam that's overhead shoots down lightning, and you're only affected by that bolt of lightning. So what it basically does is that it stuns you temporarily, and then the computer players, they will tend to go after you and you alone. But that was unbelievable. That was an incredible crystal, actually.
Love to see it.
Well done.
Thank you.
All right, so what is next? Crash Ball or Pogo?
Well, I'll do Pogo.
All right, Pogo. All right, so this is kind of one of the chill parts of the run here. So you're basically going around an 8x8 grid, trying to score points against your opponents. In this particular map, there are arrows that will light up a specific color that you are. So Tiny is yellow for this one, which is what Cubbies is. Brio is red, Kong is blue, and Rilla is green.
Mention the thing about Rilla.
Yeah, and I should mention one thing. Rilla is the best Pogo player out of all the characters in the game, specifically because if you provide Rilla with those shoes right there, Rilla moves way faster than the other characters, and plus you can get what we call one frame.
Exactly.
It's literally one frame that Rilla is much faster than you, the human player.
I believe, to build on Nate's point there, I believe it's with as well as without shoes. You'll note here, if you are hilarious like me, that you move about 2 squares every second on regular pace. So it's about a 15, 16 frame, I call it walk cycle, but it's a jump cycle. So Rilla on his regular speed and shoe speed has 15 frames instead of the regular 16. And whatever the heck it is on shoes, I think it's like 8 instead of 9 or something, which is just outstanding.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
But who's to say Crash games can't have some janky programming in them?
Yep, shout outs to Mark Cerny.
Yeah, gotta love Mark. Absolutely.
Yep.
He's so I'm sure Eggy and a few others would know out there. Very
now, I mean, I get there are a lot of flaws with this game, but
Sure.
You gotta admit that those flaws can make the game, and speedruns, of course, very entertaining.
Oh, there's no question. Entertaining is the word I'd use. I'd use a couple other words, but this is PG-13, so, you know.
Yeah.
Frustrating, aggravating, roller coaster, exhilarating. Yep. Yeah, those are words I can use.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, what's up?
One keyword would also be repetitive. Because it can get very repetitive, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you guys are lucky we're not doing all trophies or 200% today, because oh boy, you would not believe how fun.
No, there are more tricks up our sleeve though. So yeah, this is more of like the entertainment and value of the content that is provided with these runs. So
absolutely, no question. I also saw. Go ahead.
And while we were discussing about how this game works and stuff like that, I guess we could talk a little bit more about this stage and other stages in particular as well. So there are, as you saw, a couple of power-ups that fall like every couple seconds or whatever. There are missiles that shoot in one direction, and there are also shoes that drop down. The shoes, as we mentioned before, increase your speed for a temporary amount of time. In addition to that, the missile, like I said, shoots in one direction and temporarily stuns the person that gets hit for a couple of seconds.
And you can also, I know it looks a little bit random, but you can do any way on the D-pad, like a couple frames. If you hold it down, you can choose which direction to shoot it in. You can do some really funky stuff with that. And just
like one example of that would be in Pogo Painter, Pogo Padlock, excuse me.
Yeah.
And you'll see that later on in the run. And I must warn everybody, Pogo Padlock is such a groovy song. So I'll call it out once we get there. So I guess while we're on topic with mini games, I guess I should ask a couple of questions if that's okay with you.
Go ahead. I'm in no rush.
So what would you say is your most favorite mini game in this game, and what would you say is your least favorite? It could be challenges, it could be just any stage in particular.
Let me think. That is a good question. Boy, I wish I had a good answer ready for that. Give me half a second and I'll think of something. I do like the crate levels, I will say. I know that they can be one of the more simpler ones, but especially when we get into like Warp 3 and Warp 4, those crate levels are, despite the challenger, because we've got Kong trying to play spoiler here, those are actually quite entertaining, as well as space for some of the more amusing moments that this game has to offer. As for the worst, I mean, take your pick. Anything from Warp 5 is a good candidate, really, that we're sadly not going to be able to be showing today, but that's any percent for you. If you check out
I will have no slander over this, but my favorite in Warp 5, honestly, it has to be Dante's.
Yeah, I mean, highly disagree, but good for you for having your opinion. Yeah, you haven't done as many 200%.
The point stands. Warp 5 is still pretty bad.
It is. I don't deny it. There was a bit of I don't know if you guys know this or not. Just a little personal fun fact. This what was it? I forget. The great people over at, they have like anyway, the prototype for Vash was released within the past 2 or 3 months. I forget their name. It's actually annoying that I can't remember it, but someone in chat will remember.
Oh yeah, thankful. For sure.
And Eggy and I actually played through most of the prototype, and we just about got every single, I should have counted. We got just about every collectible item, aside from one gold relic that was practically impossible. But it was very, very surprising to see both how much of the game was done, and also how much that they were able to do in 3 or 4 months or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was very fascinating watching that as well, and just everything that led up to the final product of what we have now. So I guess while we were discussing about that as well, that was a very, very quick Pogo Painter. So in Pogo Painter, you might have saw Gorilla had shoes spawned right next to them. I'm actually very surprised they didn't pick up those shoes.
As am I. The Warp 1 AI still does itself, admittedly, which is to say they don't go for everything. Thank goodness.
Alright, and another thing also to follow up on that Pogo Painter gem is that you start with 80 points, the AI starts with 60. So you have a little bit of a handicap to work with against you. So that's what the challenge is, basically.
I can't
but now we're on Crash Ball. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. You can get to that in a moment. I can't say I'm looking at chat now. I think definitely the comparison to Mario Party minigame is more apt. I admittedly only have seen a couple parts of Sonic Shuffle, mainly the Game Grumps playthrough. Shout out to Carbunk.
That game.
Yeah, that is definitely a game of all time.
Oh, without question.
This is better than that by the looks of it, certainly by the feels of it.
Yeah. So Crash Ball in this trophy round, again, it's the same thing. You're trying to win 3 consecutive rounds, as you are with all trophy rounds. So balls usually will spawn like every few seconds, but usually they add an additional one like every few seconds or so. So the goal again is to drop your opponent's points down all the way to 0 before yours, and last person standing in that round usually wins. Yep. So the rounds usually take about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes on average. So usually that, and the rounds can be a little bit long, can be a little bit tedious, I guess, to say the least.
Sure. Yeah. No. Wait till Warp 2, and then it'll get tedious.
And then the thing with the kickback, you might notice that the AI, and of course you can do what's called kickback action. If you use kickback action on one of the balls that's headed towards your goal, you regenerate it immediately. But however, if you miss it, then you lose the kickback action temporarily, and you have to wait for it to respawn on your vehicle. So as you see, like with the green lights on the outside of Tiny's vehicle, for example, you saw how they dimmed out. You have to wait for those to regenerate after a short period of time.
Indeed. I call it the spin timer, which is reminiscent of Crash 1, where if you do the thing correctly, then yeah, you get it right back immediately. But if you go, maybe not too hard like in Crash 1, but if you just miss it, and you get about a second and a half where you can't use it, which is where I use the phrase. Oh, it's actually pretty good, so I can Kong beam himself.
Yeah, and sometimes the AI can be a little bit annoying and they just stall out for time. So, like that, for example, Kong is just doing his darndest to prevent Tiny from winning, and it didn't work, unfortunately.
Nothing to it.
Yeah. So we got one more round coming up here, and then we have our first boss fight coming up, that being Papu Pummel. And Papu's boss fight is basically the crate throwing stage, and we'll discuss about that once we get there. It's actually pretty straightforward. It's really easy. But yeah, Warp 2 will be coming up here. The same minigames, but except they're going to be a little bit different, and the AI difficulty definitely increases. So one thing that was discovered, I don't know in particular, I know it was within the Bash community, but I want to also give a shout out to CraigleBagel. CraigleBagel actually did a tool-assisted speedrun of, I think it was 200%, if I recall correctly.
At least any percent in all trophies, yeah. It's CraigBagel 001. Say just Twitch.
Mm-hmm. And CraigleBagel basically, I think CraigleBagel is the one that discovered about the difficulty of the AI. It could have been somebody else. I think Eggy also discovered it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, we've got, what you call it, the PAL debug menu that's been known since like 2015 or 2016, but Craig's thing is definitely a nice bit of reassurance that even on NTSC as well. So we got the difficulty tracker as follow up to what we thought it was, basically all the PAL difficulty modifiers and all those with the other assorted challenge. As a matter of fact, we'll mention it when we get there again, but the Warp 3 Pogo levels, AI difficulty on the trophy is 1 point lower than the Gold Relic trophy, which is insane to think about, but we'll expound upon that when we get there. As for Papu Pummel,
absolutely.
Go ahead, Nate.
Alright, so the challenge for Papu just basically is, as I mentioned, a crate throwing challenge. So what happens in the beginning is that you'll still see those platforms that shift. Those can hurt you, but there's also miniature Crash Bandicoot sprites that spawn. So in the first part of the round, you have to get rid of both of the Bandicoots there. And then in this second round, 2 Bandicoots will spawn not once, but twice. And then same thing, you just throw a crate at Papu. And you have to repeat this process 3 times. On the third phase, it's 3 times you have to do this. So as I said, very straightforward, very easy. It's not that hard whatsoever, actually.
True.
I consider this the easiest boss fight in the game.
It is, without question. Of all the years that I have seen this on Twitch, I have seen 1 person fail it. And that is out of probably, good 50, 70 people playing this game.
Yeah, and there have been many people that have come and gone playing this game, so yeah, it's definitely a big deal. But with that, we are done with Warp 1, and now Cubbies is proceeding to Warp 2.
Great.
So one minor thing that obviously you want to apply to this, and I hope it doesn't happen, if you input the cross button to a specific timing, you can actually soft lock the game. You can soft lock yourself outside of where you need to go. So that's been known to happen quite a bit, and I've seen it happen in various speedruns of this game.
Wow.
Yeah, that was such a good round.
That's a clip, I would say.
Alright, so we are in Warp 2, and the first challenge usually runners go for is Tilt Panic. Now, Tilt Panic is basically the same thing that we saw on Warp 1, except the platform is tilted to wherever the AI and yourself, of course, head with whatever direction you go to. And also, throughout the course of the map, there will be a random character that spawns out of the water. Cubbies likes to call him Paul for some reason.
It's a Beatles reference. I imagine the crowd will be. At least two of them will be chuckling. But yes, I do call the wall.
Yeah.
I'm sure he will. At least in the gym. I think he almost chose.
Yeah. So while that was all going on, that was actually a very clean trophy round there. But the gem is going to be a little bit different. I believe the gem is 30 seconds for this round. So what happens in this is that the AI can actually push and their difficulty increases here. So that's something that all of us have to be very careful of. And one thing also to mention is that Rilla can push twice in 1 full meter, so that's something that all of us runners have to be very, very careful of. But if we get the AI close to the edge like that, then it's much easier to push them off because they don't have enough regeneration to spawn or to get themselves back up from the platform. And with that was first try gem, so amazing job on that. Now it's time for what I consider my least favorite challenge, that being the crystal. You can go ahead and explain this one.
Oh, I prefer you do it, to be honest.
Okay. All right, so the platform, as you see, tilts in random directions. So that's something that, again, we all have to be very careful of. And plus, if you get miniaturized or if you get a power-up, the AI will only target you. So that's something that we have to be very careful of too. And plus, the AI will tend to push much more and try to regenerate a lot more as opposed to the trophy or gem rounds. Also, another thing as well is that you have less push power on the gem and the crystal rounds as opposed to the trophy. So that's one thing you have to be very careful of.
Good RNG. That's good.
Yeah, this is very good. So Tiny has the lightning bolt. So after a few seconds, the character that has the lightning bolt will shock the other characters and will stun them temporarily. This is one of the main power-ups that we like to use to push the enemy AI off the edge, which Cubbies did there and got first try crystals. So that was a very clean tilt panic. So well done.
Thank you. We're gonna quick safety save.
All right, so I guess I should mention safety save. And the reason why that Cubbies is safety saving here is because the crate levels have been known to produce a hard lock, like the game would crash. So if the game crashes, we have a safety save file to go back upon and continue the run. Now, obviously, we won't reset the timer in this regard, but we will have to reset the console and restart the game so that way we can get back to where we originally were. Now, another question I should mention that we discussed about, and I guess I should mention it here as well, Cubbies. Are you going to be doing the infamous no movement in the crystal?
Yes, so I have debated on it. I think I mentioned last night. I'll try it for like the first 30 or so seconds. We can talk about the weekly-ish races that we've been doing about it, but if after like the first 30 seconds I'm not feeling it or they're all still alive, I'll just clean it up and move on with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing I should mention with that is that we've seen fast rounds occur with no movement, and as Cubbies mentioned, we have done meme weekly races. So obviously the meme is just as it sounds. You don't move whatsoever. And we do like multiple crystals, like 10, 20, 30 crystals. We used to do, well, we still do, but we didn't do it last year in the Crash Bash community Discord server. We used to do 100 crystal races, and those take several hours, depending on if you get good or bad RNG, whichever happens throughout the course of the run. One thing to talk about with Space Bash as well is that TNT and Nitro crates will knock out platforms, as you see there. So for the most part, what you're hoping for is either the AI to fall in the hole when you throw a TNT, or if they get hit with a nitro crate, or you can dwindle their health down to nothing, which Cubbies may have to do here because Brio is on the opposite side of the map here, which is unfortunate. In this map, weights are also introduced, similar to what you saw in the polar stages. Weights, after a few seconds, whoever's holding a weight is eliminated from that round. Okay, we are moving on to the gem. As I mentioned before, most challenges have a time challenge. This one has a 40-second time challenge, and it's the same thing as any other gem challenge. You have to win the round as fast as you can within the time limit. Okay, that was actually pretty lucky. Oh, there's a weight regeneration right there.
Wait! Oh my!
The old 2-for-1? Okay, let's see if we can get one more here.
Wow.
Wow, that was a good round.
Another
unbelievable.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's a highlight for sure. That I'm stunned by how that round went. All right. Let's see if you win the round via not moving. This will be the infamous moment of tiny wins by doing absolutely nothing, chat.
Open.
Reference to Mario Party.
Nice of the bot to notify me that my run's in 12 minutes. Technology, can I say? Ooh, that's a good start. Yeah.
That's good. There goes Brio. There goes Kong. Oh, no way! Are you kidding me? Well, that's marathon luck.
Wow. Yeah, I think that might be a highlight. Just saying.
Let's go!
Wow. Unreal.
That was a good treat for you all. I hope you all enjoyed that.
Jeez. You couldn't have scripted that better.
Yeah, so I guess I could talk about the Crystal Challenge, how that was actually supposed to go. So, you cannot pick up crates whatsoever, and the only way to move crates are by kicking them, or by going on top of TNT crates. So that's the intended way, but we decided to just meme it up a little bit, because why not?
Okay, we're having fun here. Exactly.
That was great. I hope you all enjoyed that.
That was incredible. I was fully expecting to just, 30 seconds. I'm like, well, we tried.
Let alone get under 20 seconds. That's unbelievable.
It's so dumb. That was like, 11 seconds. One of the fastest I've ever done. And I had to do nothing.
Yep.
Goes to show how skilled this game can be sometimes.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess one thing I should mention is that other runners have gotten faster crystals, but I've seen, like, one fellow former world record holder by the name of Pi. He got a 5-second crystal once upon a time, and just a couple of years ago, I got a 6-second win in the crystal. Oh, okay. That was unfortunate. Yeah, Brio was just camping out in the corner there. All right, so I guess we could talk about Desert Fox now. So Desert Fox is our first of the tank mini games, and we'll see a couple of more throughout the course of the run. So the only power-ups that are on this first part of the tank levels are just the mines and the Wampa Fruit. Wampa Fruit regenerates your health, and mines do a lot of damage if you get hit by it. We do a usual strat called the self-hit strat. So basically, we take less damage by shooting a projectile and letting it hit ourselves for, I guess, invisibility frames, to say the least.
And also to avoid getting more damage from the AI's shots.
Yes. And as you see, that mine took out real easily. That is crazy how much damage this does in Desert Fox. Like in the trophy, that is significant considering how much mines usually do.
Casual 12-second trophy, no big deal.
Also, that was an unbelievable round.
Probably top 5 fastest trophy rounds I've ever done.
All right, now it's time for the gem. I believe the gem is
40.
What, like 40 seconds? Yeah, 40 seconds. So same scenario, but except again, you're on a time limit. So you might notice a recurring trend with the gem challenges. They're basically just time challenges for the most part, except obviously for like the crash ball levels and the I'm trying to think what else. Oh, the pogo levels. I mean, the pogo levels still are technically on a timer, but except you're on a score limit.
Yeah.
Also, nice gem.
Sick. That was really clean. Rilla took care of the rest of Kong for me. The mines took care of Rilla, and then Rio was on his own expedition.
Yeah. All right, so the crystal challenge coming up here. The crystal challenge, basically, the center platform on this map has a thing to where it shoots bombs only at you, and the AI take less damage as well, and you take more damage through projectiles and or mines. So this challenge can be somewhat tricky. And yeah, that'll probably do it. Yeah, the only reason why was because like if you're stuck in the corner and the AI just goes after you, there's just literally nothing you can do. The only thing that you could probably do at that point is do the invisibility frame strat and take less damage. Yeah, 'cause if Tiny would have got hit with that mine right there, that would have absolutely knocked him out.
How is Rio alive? Are you? We're being funny today. We're having a joke.
Oh no.
It's japery time.
Yeah, this is a very tricky challenge. I've failed this challenge several times, and it's pretty difficult.
One of my more hated ones. If it goes well, yippee, first try. If it doesn't, you get this.
So on topic with my most favorite minigame and my least favorite minigame, I would say like the dash levels are probably my favorite minigames, but my least favorite absolutely has to go to the Skyballs Crystal. And the reason why I say Skyballs Crystal is because in that challenge, there's a random red ball that spawns like every so often or whatnot, and it's awful. Also, no. It's okay. You got this, man. You got this.
That's so annoying.
You got this.
You mentioned the thing about how there's... I don't know if they have more health, but they take a lot less damage or something.
Yes. Yeah, I did mention that already. So hopefully you can bounce back from this.
I'll be fine. It's just annoying. Off in the bed.
Oh, okay. You're in very good shape here. Okay, that mine's gonna get Rilla. And Brio, apparently. Yeah, you got this. You got this. One more shot, and there you go.
That's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah, that's how it was really supposed to go. We'll count that as first try, okay?
Sure, why not? Sure. So we were ahead after, what was it, Tilt Panic, and then, yeah, now we are about 2 minutes behind my PB. That's Bash for you. What can I say? And
just to remind everybody, what is your PB again?
I got it somewhat recently. 208.56.
Yeah, that's nothing to, sneeze on as well. That is a really, really good PB. I just PB'd last night, actually. I got like a 220 something, I believe.
Yeah, sub 230 for sure.
Yeah. Alright, so our next Pogo level is Pogo A Go-Go. So you might notice something a little different here. So instead of boxes spawning, you have to form circles around your color. So as I mentioned before, Tiny is by default the yellow color because player 1. But every like 15 seconds or whatever, the colors change around on the outside of the map. And you'll notice that there are also multi-directional arrows as well. So once those spawn, you can have a better chance of scoring more points with those. So the usual strat that us runners tend to do from time to time is usually we form a 2x2 scoring grid. Sometimes we'll go 3x3 and at the very most like 4x4. Just depends on if we get shoes for faster speed or if we or if the AI characters are away from our color. And usually the AI character can actually just stay within the color range that we're in, which is pretty annoying.
They're being quite nice right now. Wonderful to see. Thanks again,
Yeah.
Julie, for stopping by. Everything.
All right, so the same thing as per every trophy round, it's a minute and a half. So, and again, the same scenario still applies. You have to win 3 rounds in the trophy. One thing that's also changed with this as well are that there's these electric zappers that spawn like right where Cubbies was standing just now. Those temporarily stun the opponent for a couple of seconds, just like with the with some of the other power-ups that we usually see that temporarily stun your opponent, like the lightning bolt in the polar levels. And the missiles on this map shoot in multiple directions. So instead of one direction, they shoot in 4 different directions, perpendicular.
We're gonna do another one. Are we feeling funny? Okay, great.
Also, that was a very strange sequence of events there. Just literally, the AI was just doing nothing but targeting you.
Yeah.
The AI definitely do target you a lot more in the gem. And you might notice as well, there are some mini games that Cubbies does not do in regards to the any percent route. So there are some challenges that we skip, like Pogo Go-Go Crystal, for example. Usually we try to go with the fastest route, and that being like just the gem instead of the crystal, because the gem is much faster to work with and not the crystal. The crystal challenge is easy, it's time consuming.
Alright, I was only able to get 200 there because I don't know, I got hit by about 10 items that one.
Yeah, that was at least 6 or 7 right there. Like, I had never seen that, and you still scored over 200 points.
Yeah, that was, I got lucky when I wasn't getting absolutely hecked upon, but, you know.
Right.
Now that's just mean.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
But Go-Go is most of the other Pogo levels. Well, at least the first 2, not too bad. The other 2 have some interesting moments, but we'll get there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, El Pogo Loco would be one of the first ones I would say, is like where the difficulty really turns up a notch.
Where the run actually is.
Yep. There's really not much to add on to this, but again, I just want to take a moment and just say thank you very much to Retro Gaming Live TV for having us on for this year's Retrothon. And as I said before, this is GoCubbies' very first Retrothon, so we really appreciate, again, the folks at RGLTV for having us here and showing off this game, how brutal and how fun it can be at the same time.
Certainly. Ah, dang it. That's all me. What?
Oh. Okay, I had to laugh at that one because Brio just got an arrow out of nowhere. You were trying to complete the square, but just Brio just got you.
That's what that was. Okay, I was like, I couldn't foresee what was happening up there. I was like, how did that circuit not complete?
That's exactly what happened.
Like, dude, come on.
That can't happen from time to time, unfortunately.
Here. The fun.
All right, so now the gem challenge. As I mentioned before, you start with more points than the opponent. So again, your goal is just to basically go from the amount of points that you start with all the way down to 0. You start with 150 points here. The AI starts with 90. So what you're hoping for are some shoes to spawn over by you, which looks like there are some there, and there's more. That's actually really good. As long as you don't pick up like missiles or anything like that.
Yeah, it's just getting ratios.
Oh, how did Brio not get those shoes?
Don't know.
Okay, I'm a little surprised by that actually.
Works for me.
All right. So far so good. As long as again nothing else happens, this is pretty much a challenge that Cubbies can win right here. And there's some shoes, and he's got it.
Let's not have a missile land directly on top of me again, please. Thanks.
Yeah, so basically the TLDR is pick up shoes and just score.
Oh, cool.
Very nice. That was really good. Well done.
Being smart. Imagine that.
Very well done. The AI didn't really score that much, actually, so... Actually,
out.
doing what you did there was very nice.
Appreciate it. Not bad. This is a good start to a run, all things considered.
Oh, for sure. I would say the most annoying stage in Warp 2 is coming up here. This is Beach Ball.
Yeah.
So obviously all 4 players start with less points, 12 points, instead of the usual 15 or 20, depending on what stage you're on. This moves a lot slower than it usually does. There's a magnetic force field in which you can hold the ball and shoot at the opposing player's goal. Same thing as usual. You do have kickback action. The ball moves a little bit slower, and plus like the movement with the ball collision and stuff like that does happen from time to time. So that's just something to like be very careful of as well, because again, the stage just moves quite a bit slower than the usual ballistic stages.
Okay. All right.
So the usual strat here are that if a ball spawns on your opposite corner, doesn't matter which one, left or right corner, you can try to shoot it at the opposing player's goal on the left or right side. That's usually the strat that most advanced runners like Elite, Logic, Dr. Aggie, or many other players that have played this game or continue to play this game, what they usually do. Also, nice end around there. So there is a 1 or 2 frame situation in which if the ball is getting ready to go into your goal, you can actually collide with the ball, and you can actually do what we call an end around. So like the ball just wraps around your vehicle. But that's basically like one of the neat things with the ballistic levels that you can do, like this one for example. So far this is a really good round. That was a fantastic round.
Might be sub 2. That was.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Only
Right, so
one ball helps also.
Oh, definitely. So really not much to add on to this as well, is that this is the last stage on Warp 2 that Cubbies will be doing, that being the trophy. The gem and the crystal are very slow, and again, with the ballistic challenges, you start with less points as opposed to your opponent. I believe on this you start with like 8, if I recall correctly, like 8 or 7 points, and you have to avoid all those all the balls going into your goal. But this is probably, I'd say, the last easy ballistic stage before Warp 3, because Embolism and Skyballs are absolute nightmares to deal with. Also, right now, Rilla is actually playing good. I don't know why.
Well,
actually, I shouldn't have said anything.
You were saying? I'm glad you mentioned it. Good commentator.
Yeah.
First, let's go.
Hey, and I had to help with something somehow, okay?
Yeah. The power of friendship and need.
Oh, may the power of friendship compel us all.
Oh.
The real ballistic stages were the friends we made along the way.
Get out of here, Taya. Alright, that's good. That's
right, one more.
Oh,
oh nice. 8-ball corner pocket.
Really good.
Alright, so one more, and then we go to our second boss stage of the run, that being Bearminator. We'll discuss about that once this is finished. Oh, another thing I should also mention with the ballistic stages are taunts. I don't know if it's in the game's code or whatever, but apparently if you taunt, you can actually get what we call an easy, I think it's easy mode for the AI or whatever, or if it eases their difficulty somewhat.
It changes their seed. It's not necessarily makes it easier, but there is... Craig found some evidence to suggest that in, what is it, Warp 1 and Warp 3 is ballistic stages, so Crash Ball and Embolism.
Embolism.
If you taunt, that it slightly changes either the difficulty seed or some such value in their code. Or, again, not necessarily easier. Holy, what a split by
which
Rio.
it goes a long way, especially with embolism being such a horrible stage at times, considering the spawn of engine dropping a bunch of balls at the same time, like and throughout the course of the rounds.
What is this nonsense?
All right, so one other backup that Cubbies is probably going to have to go to here very soon. Cubbies does what we call a pause buffer. So it's very important during the ballistic stages is that if you do a pause buffer, you can get a very good close-up as to like where the ball is going to go to, if it's headed towards your goal, and if you can use the kickback or whatever.
Should be able to.
So
escape
that's
but yeah.
that's something to kind of keep an eye on, not just necessarily this stage, but also like on Embolism and Skyballs. You'll definitely at least see it once. Okay, this is a good turnaround for sure. Very, very nice turnaround.
Look and see it.
Alright, that's Zorilla down, and that should be calmed down. There we go. Nice turnaround there at the very end of that round.
Yeah, that was a really good beach ball. We went from like 2 or so behind my PV to like a minute and a half.
Yeah, this is good pace so
Really
far.
good. I'll have to retime that on my own. But anyway.
All right, so we're coming up on, as I mentioned, the second boss fight being Bearminator. So Bearminator is just a polar push level. And what happens here is that these mechanical polar, like mini polar bears, usually they spawn. And what you have to do in a situation like this is that after they shoot the missile, you have to knock them out of the stage, just like you would in a normal polar stage. There's a missile that spawns afterwards. You have to pick up that missile and shoot Bearminator afterwards. And there are, as I mentioned, 3 phases throughout each boss fight. This first phase basically is Bear usually shoots a missile at the platform that you're on. And what it usually does is that it knocks out a chunk of the platform that you have to move around on. There are 2 bears that, as you saw, spawn on that second phase. Now, the third phase takes out the other chunk of that platform on the right. Cubbies is doing intentional setup on the right side to get the bears to spawn in a particular location and try to knock them off the platform. And on this third phase, there are 3 bears, 3 mechanical bears or polar bears that spawn. And you have to knock them all out with the limited platform that you have. And that's that. That's Bearminator. All right, and with that, Warp 2 is complete, and now Cubbies is moving on to Warp 3. What stage are you going to first?
Yeah.
Melt Panic. Okay, so this is definitely one of the more reset-heavy stages in a particular speedrun. But Melt Panic is definitely RNG based. There is a Uka Uka mask that's on the very top. Uka can freeze or turn you into a snowball. They could also spawn the same power-up items on the other polar push stages, like the weight, the lightning. They can shrink you, they can increase your size and stuff like that. And you can apparently do what we call a blind push, or BP in short. So there are specific situations in which the AI does not see when you push or whatever. So that's what Cubbies was doing there just now. And then in addition to that also, Uka Uka can also shrink part of the map, or the platform as well. But this is going well so far, actually. It's going really well.
Rio was really funny up there. I have like a clip of that where he charged himself into oblivion as Uka was melting gas.
Yeah. Dude, that was a really good push right there. Oh!
No!
Wow.
No!
Wow!
No.
Are you kidding me? Okay, that was insane.
No.
Would anybody be able to provide a clip of that, please?
No. That is some marathon.
Can't say that
luck.
I've seen that before,
No,
honestly.
that was a new one. I was a little scared because it took a little while for the trophy to show up. I was like, please
Yeah,
tell
I
me I
know.
should just not soft lock my game.
Yeah,
In the
I was about to
dumbest
say,
way
I hope you didn't
possible.
soft lock the game there.
Oh god, this gem.
Yeah, this gem is 25 seconds, and the AI usually tend to push quite a bit. This is one of the more notorious gems in the speedrun. No way. No shot.
Okay.
Oh, you got a chance.
Easy.
Very nice. That was first try, and yet challenge is very, very hard. And I mean very hard.
To
Like,
get that
I have
first
trouble
try.
with it quite a bit.
Oh god, to get that first try is just outstanding.
Yes. All right, so now Cubbies is going to attempt the crystal, and the crystal challenge for Melt Panic is that you have no regeneration to recover from the edge of the platform. Once you're on the edge of the platform and you're there, you just fall, you just fail. I'm surprised that Rilla did not attempt to recover there.
Got a blind push.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Oh, nice. Oh, this is a close one.
Please.
Oh,
That wasn't even a neutral.
yeah, that was unfortunate. Yeah, Brio got the push there. All right, there goes Brio. Only a few seconds too late there.
Yep, calm.
Yeah, there are some situations in which you want to do a blind push that easily just helps out big time.
How the physics did that work? Oh.
Okay, still
Alright,
alive.
yeah. This is one of those where they just decide.
Ooh, very nice. Very nice. And Rilla's right on the edge there, so Cubbies is trying to be extra careful with Rilla here. Rilla has that extra push that we mentioned.
Come on. What, are you just not going to charge? Yeah, of course not. Here's one of those hard ones that you have to work for, and then the game still probably is going to say no. Come on.
Yeah, you definitely want to get close to the edge, but hopefully that...
Look how heavy he is!
Yeah, they usually, like,
This
how they
is
use...
ridiculous.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is what you call an endurance round there, but unfortunate. Sorry, just shake it off. You got this. You got this.
Oh, smart. This is why we start with this one, nothing else.
Yep.
Just when you think you have a run that has a chance, this happens. Inordinate amount of times. I really thought...
There you go. I'm
just gonna hit
surprised that actually worked.
I'm thrilled too. If we got that
But-
first try and really quickly, we were going to be about even with PB. Now we're back to about 2 behind.
It's all right. What that matters is that you're still way ahead here.
It's just
You got this.
I'm not mad. It's just for my own personal amusement.
Oh, for sure. All right, folks. The moment you all been waiting for, embolism.
Oh joy.
So, same rule usually applies with embolism. It's that this time there are magnetic force fields that will spawn in a particular random part of the corners. The magnetic force fields repel the ball spawns from the goal. And as you see, engine randomly spawns and shoots several balls randomly across the map. So that's just something to be very careful of as well. They usually spawn like every 15 seconds or so, I'd say. It's a set timer, but it depends on what set timer it's on.
Talk about the left-right thing that I described.
Yeah, and one thing that Cubbies usually does during his runs is that usually Cubbies shouts out either left or right. It depends on where the next magnetic force field is going to spawn. And usually that's what he calls out. When he says either left or right, that's what usually he tries to call out.
There it was going to show up on the left side, but because I was otherwise occupied, I couldn't get the corner without. Shows up on the right over there like it did for Rio. Chances are about 80-85% that it's going to show on the left here, but game being game.
Oh, wait a minute. I just saw something there. I just saw the ball like literally go around your vehicle.
Yeah, that wasn't in there. Good to see that.
Yeah, that's a rare end around on embolism.
Oh, good. One of these.
Oh boy. Okay, so yeah, Cubbies may have to do the pause buffer strat here to stay alive. Yeah, it's definitely, it may happen. We'll see.
Let one of them down, dude. Come on.
Oh boy. All right, well, it's time. It's time. Yeah, and usually when you lose rounds like that, it's about 1.5 to 2 minutes. But the pause buffer strat kind of helps out someone in some situations. Hopefully we'll see that in the next round. Yeah, embolism can be pretty brutal. All right, while we have a moment here, I guess we can just ask another question as well. When did you first start speedrunning Crash Bash, and were there any other games that you started with when you speedran?
That's a good question. I would say around about mid-2018, late 2018 at the latest. Yep. As for any other games in particular, it took me a while to branch out, not gonna lie. Bash was and still is my main speed game because I am hilarious. But also, I really do enjoy it to a great extent.
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot's been one of those franchises that
Really?
even as a kid I've enjoyed so much, but as a speedrunning I appreciate a lot more with the execution for a platforming franchise. All right, here comes the pause buffer stretch, chat. So the pause buffer stretch is basically you pause the game for a split second, and you see where each ball is going to spawn.
I have to not pull it out tonight.
Yeah, I figured you had to, but at the same time, it's like it's very important for others that are checking this out for the first time to know what you're doing for safety strats. And that's what pause buffering normally does, is that you can see where everything's going a lot better, and you can see if it's going to go to your goal or not. So that's what Cubbies was doing.
Better to save, yeah, was it better to lose, say 20-25 seconds than be a tool like me and lose whatever it is, minute 40 or something?
Yeah, about we'll say roughly on an estimate of about close to 2 minutes.
Speaking of estimate though, I believe, yeah, it should say 220 down there, wherever it is.
Yeah,
You should
yeah,
be
it's
able to
220
hit that
for the
still
estimate.
comfortably, even with that.
Oh, without question. I have faith and confidence that you'll hit that estimate. I promise.
I'm sure of.
Thank goodness also for embolism we don't do the gem or the crystal, because man, those challenges are just as worse.
Yeah, Crystal's debatably top 3 worst challenges in the whole game. Outside of
Yeah,
Darks and-
it's definitely in my top 5, no doubt about it. My top 3 least favorite crystal challenges are, I'd say embolism, Pogo Painter, not Pogo Painter, but Pogo Padlock. I keep getting Pogo Painter and Padlock mixed up.
It's alright.
Second least is Pogo Padlock, and my least favorite, without question, is Skyballs in Warp 4. Alright, this is actually, like, overall, this is a very good round. So nice rebound there on the second round. Alright, we just need one more win here, and we're out of the trophy. So I guess another thing we discussed about at the very beginning here are the origin of your username and stuff like that. So from my understanding, you've been a Cubs fan for a very long time. Is that true?
Quite so, yes. As a matter of fact, there is some movie and historical significance to really when I started following the Cubs. I don't know if you remember it or not, but back when the Pirates were okay, the Cubs had a playoff game with them back in, I believe it was 2015. And as it happened, as foretold by the movies, the day that Back to the Future predicted the Cubs would win the World Series, they actually lost to the Pirates in the wild card. Which was, to the day, by the way, not just the year, to the day. Which is outstanding.
Yeah, and believe it or not, that was when I think Crystal Pepsi existed back then as well.
I think that is correct, yes. On both times, actually, yes.
Yeah, it's very fascinating how you look up specific history and, you know, all these superstitious stuff happening and whatnot. But yeah, it's fascinating the history of both baseball and movies that go along with that as well. It's great.
It is interesting. Yeah, that's just what I needed here. God mode AI. Really?
Oh, okay.
Really?
Oh
really?
no. Okay. Yeah. Here comes the pause buffer.
Oh yeah, I probably should have.
Yeah, 3-3 here, and it doesn't help when Kong has that magnetic force. And now you have it, so you're a little bit more comfortable working with this. Let's hope that engine cooperates here. This is not looking good, and no.
Been a while since I've lost two. I'm gonna go off screen real quick and lash myself, BRB.
Oh no.
Oh, I just picked up this game yesterday, guys. I swear I know what I'm doing.
Sorry, I didn't start speedrunning this game, I think, until like, what, 2 years ago, I believe?
Something to that effect.
Yeah, and the only reason why I picked it up was because, like, I watched several Bash speedrunners, and GoCubbies was one of them. He's been one of my longtime supporters and actually a good friend of mine. So I wanted to learn Bash just because of that particular reason. And
I told him not to make that mistake, but yeah, here he is.
I mean, I do play RNG-based games. I mean, come on. What do you want from me?
Speaking of, I suppose that's as good a segue as I need to talk about your game that's coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. So the only reason why as well that he mentioned that, and I mentioned that too, is because in a couple of days I will be speedrunning Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories here on RGLtvs Retrothon 2024. And that'll be Monday, I believe, at around roughly close to 7 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. There is a schedule that's available for all of you to check out. If you wish to check that out, and all the runners as part of this year's Retrothon Marathon.
Yep.
Again, shout out to all the runners that have made this very possible. If it wasn't from them, we would not have a Retrothon Marathon. So again, thank you very much to everybody that has worked tirelessly, both behind the scenes and throughout the course of the marathon as well.
One in 2016. So Back to the Future was only 1 year off. That's a good point. Thanks for reminding.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Okay. We're going to pretend that level didn't happen and go to somewhere.
And with that, yay, we're out of Envolusive. Great job.
Thank goodness.
All right, we're coming up on the second tank level of the run, that being Metal Fox. So Metal Fox introduces bomb projectiles on this map. So bombs do a lot of damage, and they randomly just spawn. Also, another thing with this map is that the platforms that you see on your screen there, they randomly disappear every few seconds or so, and they shift over into different positions. So you'll see, I think it's like every 5 or 10 seconds, they just randomly shift.
Like that. I hope Eggy's still here. He has a couple of emotes. This level in particular.
Yeah.
He has a very appropriate emote that deals with bombs.
Yeah. Kong just picked up some bombs, it looked like. And he missed them.
Good.
Okay, Kong is... Alright, I was about to say, Kong only had like a pixel of health left.
Kong's gone forever.
Alright, and there we go.
Yay!
Very carefully, very safe, but got through the first round.
Being competent, it could be me.
3, 2, 1.
There you go.
All right, so in this stage, Cubbies does the gem and the crystal as well. The gem is, as I mentioned, a time challenge.
Oh no.
The crystal is a very, very tough challenge.
I have recently elected to stop doing the crystal here. Yes,
Oh,
up until
okay.
recently.
Okay, yeah. Now, most runners normally do the crystal, but Cubbies is actually going to skip the crystal on this one. So I guess while we have a second, I'll explain how the crystal works because since we're not going to see it. So the crystal basically random crates will drop, and those usually have mines or items or whatever. But you're supposed to keep moving because if you get hit with a crate, you automatically fail the level. Plus, on top of it, the AI does more damage to you, and you take more damage. So pretty much a fair/unfair balance of RNG and how the game usually works. All right, that is the trophy done. Now, as I mentioned, the gem coming up, it is a time challenge. I think it's 1 minute, if I recall correctly, for the gem.
45 or 40.
Or probably 45 or 50 seconds. But the challenge still remains the same. Basically, Cubbies is just trying to... Oh, it's 40 seconds. Okay, so we're just trying to get rid of all 3 of the enemy AI as quickly as possible within a 40-second time frame. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends.
It's looking like one of those.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it looks like the AI just doing nothing but targeting Tiny. So yeah, this could potentially be a fail here. Oh, what a comeback. All right, that was actually fantastic.
No.
That was a good turnaround.
I'll say.
All right, with that, Metal Fox is finished.
All right, save time.
Yeah, here comes another safety save here because Snow Bash can also crash the game. Any of the crate levels can do so from Warp 2 onward. All right, here we go with Snow Bash.
In fairness, all
Now,
4 of them can. The Jungle Bash one has crashed on me at least 2 or 3 times, but I digress. Go ahead.
I can't particularly say that that's happened to me before, but
It's been a while for me, in fairness.
yeah. All right, so here's Snow Bash. The same thing usually applies, but you're on a platform of ice. You do move around a lot more on the sheet of ice. There is a penguin that's introduced in the middle of the map. Think of it like the Crash Bandicoot 2 maps, like the snow maps or whatever, where penguins are usually there. But the way usually the penguin works is that you can either kick or throw a crate at them if they're snoozing, and they wake up and they do a spin attack.
Here, you die twice.
Oh, I didn't notice Kong had a sliver of health there. Okay.
Those are the best.
I think that's what you call a double whammy.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Proud of that. Turning up the way through.
Or double jeopardy or whatever you want to call it.
Whoa. There. Ah, give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that. Let's go, Brio's already on it.
Or Tiny's 2-for-1 special.
Oh.
Who's got the weight? Oh, Kong had it. Okay, so it's going to be a battle between both Tiny and Brio. Okay, that was a good use of the crate there. Could have hit the nitro, and actually Brio could have gotten hit there.
He was too far away. Thought about it.
Yeah. So one thing also that we try to do from time to time is we try to kick the enemy AI if they're trying to go after a crate. Usually we kick them, and then we jump out of the way very quickly and let the crate that they grabbed hit them. So like that, for example, that could have worked on Rilla if the kick action occurred and not throwing the crate at them.
See the thing I did with Kong and Nitro?
Yes.
Yep,
And you can also like kick them into the nitro, or you could throw a crate that's close to the nitro that won't break immediately. Oh, wait for it. Oh. I thought that penguin was going to get Brio for a second there.
That's good.
Oh. All right, let the nitro get in then.
The
works.
The irony is built.
Yeah, I know.
That's...
All right, so that is the trophy. Now it's time for the gem. The gem, I think, is 30 seconds, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that sounds right. It is really quick.
Something like that. Yeah, it's a very quick level. But the same challenge is 40 seconds. It's a little bit more lenient. So the challenge still remains the same. Eliminate all of the enemy AI within a specific time frame. So one particular strat that we like to use is we always kick the penguin or throw a crate at it. So that way we can deal much more damage to the enemy AI. That's one of the many things that we tend to do. And it makes it go much, much quicker. And so far, this is actually going really well. Very well. Very nice. All right, and the same strat for the crystal. This crystal actually, there's not too much of a difference, but the only difference, well, two differences, I should say. You have less traction when you're moving around the map. So one particular thing that we do is we usually jump quite a bit, and then we just stop once we get to the apex of our jump, so that way we don't move. And then the second thing is that the AI takes less damage as opposed to the player themselves.
It is palpably different. Less damage. Like,
yeah.
Stupefyingly less damage. Like what?
Yeah, like the normal crates don't do a lot. Let's just put it that way. So that strat where you kick the enemy AI and throw the crate at them, that comes into play if that helps. But sometimes it doesn't help. That's why we usually go with the penguin strat, just as a backup. There's a Aku Aku mask, but that, folks, is what we call bait.
Yeah, I should have known.
That
divs.
is basically another thing we call false hope.
Good trap by divs.
Yeah, that's the sad part, but I mean, not much you can do about that, unfortunately.
Run is not exactly the PB. I'm surprised how good of a pace it was on for the first two looks, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're still well underestimated. You're doing fine.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was. Notice how this camera is horrible and you can't see the bottom of the screen?
Yeah, like the camera angle is pretty bad. Especially in this level in particular. Snow Bash is pretty bad.
Rather good cleanup though, must be said.
Yes. Alright, we are coming up on
Mexico.
El Pogo Loco.
Pogo.
So, one big difference, well, two big differences I should mention here. There are 3 crate boxes where you can score, and on top of it as well, Ripperoo randomly spawns TNT squares and or what we call 4-way squares. Those 4-way squares generate the color spots on the 8x8 grid. And another thing also is that the Ripperoo usually will shoot missiles like at the very end of the round, like with like 15 or 20 seconds left or whatever. And then the last difference with this pogo level in particular is that if you form a square or any like 4x4 or a rectangular grid or anything like that, the additional empty spaces that surround it become your color. And that same thing usually apply. I think this is the only map that does that, if I remember correctly. This is kind of similar to Warp 2 and Pogo Pogo, but they included that mechanic in this particular Pogo level.
Good start. Oh, also, to reiterate it from before, these trophy AI, as found out by the PAL release of the debug menu and Craig's research, are only one difficulty point lower than the Gold Rock and the highest possible difficulty is 32. So, yeah, that's looks pretty dang close.
Yeah, it's definitely something to take into consideration when you're doing these levels, and just all the research that particular runners and/or tool assisted speedrunners have found over the years. It's basically made speedruns and made this game what it is as a speedrun in particular. And that's why you find myself normally as a spectator and doing commentary or whatever, because usually it's one thing to speedrun the game. To understand the game's code is another.
Boom.
That was also a good four-way in that corner there. 33 points. That's nothing to sneeze upon. That's really good.
33, that's pretty much more than everyone has on their own already.
Yeah, I know. With the exception of Rilla. Rilla's just scoring at will.
Pretty much. That's him.
Yeah, and that's the power of one frame.
Ooh,
but it's looking really good in this round, so still got a little bit of time left. Let's see if Brio can score 10 more points at least.
Yep. Oh, also, I don't know if Peggy's here or whoever, but I can post my email to you, can, if you want to as well. Happy 420 day, of course. I think that'll be, if not the last runner, one of the last runners to do it on this day. So very nice. Let me post them. Very lovely one. There we go. Balance of four. I watch some people's streams in the background sometimes, and they find out later I'm streaming. They're like, "How do you do that?" Bash has like 10 seconds of loads or whatever every minute and a half.
Yeah, that's just similar to some of the games that have a slow pace of play, but at the same time you like have that split second to multitask.
Ooh, that was actually ideal. Let's go.
Ooh, that was actually solid.
That's right. Stay away from.
Nice. All right. Even though Rilla got that four-way, you're still in really good shape here. Just
sure
gotta watch
that?
for Brio. That's about it.
He's
Oh, don't worry, I'm watching. Oh, that TNT at the last second got Kong. That was actually very ideal.
Alright, now we're not.
Yeah, you should be in good shape here. Just got 20 seconds left. And the only thing in El Pogo Loco that we do is just a trophy. So after this, we move on to the next stage.
Some funny people do the gym. I have made a vow to not do the gym ever since it failed me. I think it was 7 or 8 times in a row. No, I'm not kidding.
Yeah, the gem.
That was a fun day.
We don't talk about that.
Wow. They absolutely boxed me out.
Yeah.
Retrothon.
Yeah, you got the trophy.
Yeah.
Well done. All right, so I guess the next stage is Dot Dash.
Okay.
All right, this is our first racing mini game of the run. So Dot Dash, basically, you race around the track going counterclockwise, and you try to complete 10 laps. There are different power-ups that you can use. Wampa speeds you up. It's like a boost, and then there are missiles that spawn also. So again, just the ideal thing is just to race around the track for 10 laps. The usual strat that Cubbies normally does is that he tries to stay as close to the center as possible if there's no Wampa fruit that spawn.
I edge myself along with minimal square presses.
Yes.
Because it's sort of like, I wish I had a visual aid right now, but it's sort of like, I don't know if parabola is the right word, but if you know anything about math, you kind of get it where there's a vast upwards curve, and then it sort of like levels off, so your speed caps out. But if you just go really quick and tapping like that, you can just go hoo 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 without the hoo. That made any sense.
Yeah, it's one of the neat mechanics when it comes to racing around the track. And there's usually one more minigame that does this as well. It's called Toxic Dash.
It loves that too,
The same thing usually applies there, but except when we see it later on, you'll know.
Haha.
And then after Dot Dash, we do have the Komodo brothers coming up, Komodo Mo and Joe, in the Big Bad Fox stage. We'll discuss about that once we get to that point, because there's a very unique strat that was discovered, I believe it was last year,
Yeah.
where you can actually defeat the Komodo brothers in a single cycle.
Tiny wins.
Now, the particular strat that we use in Big Bad Fox is that we intentionally take a death not once but twice, but that's on the second phase of the fight. And then when we get to that, we'll try to give an insight on how it works. But if not, then we'll kind of discuss about it in brief.
Sure. Oh, don't know if I can show it off to chat here, but oh, yeah, it's kind of hard to do. But you see what I'm doing? I'm not analoging it. I'm basically just stabbing it right D-pad here.
Yeah, like the turns
visually.
are very, I guess, janky when it comes to
Sure.
trying to navigate around the track.
It's a weird mixture of floaty and precise, but you
Yeah,
can get used to it.
So for reference, to accelerate on the track, it's R1. To boost, it's square. And to shoot your missile, I believe it's circle.
Correct. On all counts.
So by all means, it is not easy.
Nope. I just make it look easy. What can I say?
Hey, what are we talking about? This game is easy.
Easy, dude. Talk about nothing to it.
Oh yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Retrothon produces some of the best content in my opinion. Like when we see usually like, let's say Sonic content, for example, like I want to give a shout out again to Supersonic, because the Sonic the Hedgehog runs prior to this require a lot of execution and a lot of practice as well. So that's one of the main things that when it comes to Retrothon, you get to showcase a bunch of retro related content, and it inspires other people to do these things as well. All right, so this gem is going by pretty quickly, but I'll explain it in brief. There is a short time limit. I think it's an hour, a minute 15, I believe, on the course itself, and you have to go 10 laps, where the AI has to go 8, I believe.
Yes.
And now the crystal is a pretty interesting challenge. So the crystal challenge, long story short, it's still the same thing, except the course kind of looks like one of those courses from Crash Warped, I believe it is.
Yep.
And in this particular challenge, you want to avoid getting hit with missiles. If you get hit with a missile, you automatically fail the challenge. It's still a pretty straightforward crystal, though. Just only thing you're doing is avoiding those missiles.
And since there's only a max of 2 missiles available at one time, you can pick it up a lot easier just by holding one.
Yes.
And knocking the other guy off that has a missile. That's all.
Yeah, because if you knock the opposing player off that has a missile, the missile will despawn from the AI character and it will automatically respawn on the map.
Let's go, dude. Oh my goodness. Get in there. Oh, yeah.
That was a very, very good crystal. Probably one of the best ones I've seen in a while.
Oh, I haven't gotten a 47 in a minute. That makes me excited. Let's go.
Oh, I agree. All right, folks. Our third boss fight coming up here, Big Bad Fox. So this is the only tank boss fight that we'll see. But in this one, as I said, there are 2 phases. This first one, you have to get rid of the enemy projectiles one by one and take minimal damage. So I'll let Cubbies focus a little bit here.
do with these satellites here is go just a little bit left at the center for your visual, it's perspective. Same deal with these two, but reverse it, so slightly right. That center line between them. Get easy doubles. We want to use our line to get one of them here. Drive over here, don't get sprayed by missiles. And then wait, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi. Ins, 9, what do you want to call it? Please work.
Oh, okay. There goes one of the Komodo brothers.
Come here, big boy.
As you see, like noticeably, the Komodo brothers take less damage on the first phase. As you intentionally take a death per cycle, the Komodo brothers take more damage when you fire missiles at them. That's one thing that Cubbies is trying to be careful on, is not take damage from the Komodo brothers. The Komodo brothers can hit themselves with the projectile, and they take a lot more damage than usual. Oh. One more. Wow. Okay, I thought you were gonna get hit there for a second.
No pressure.
And that, ladies and gents, is a single cycle Komodo brothers. That is insane.
Big excite. Really wanted to pull that off. A little sloppy, but we got it.
Alright, so this is going to be our final save of the run, because Warp 4 has Drain Bash, and Drain Bash is very notorious for the game crashing. So this is the first stage that Cubbies is going to go to and just knock it out.
Yep. My splits, I have named it Game Crash. For that reason. It's very infamous, not just among I, but all Dashmen, as Nate mentioned.
Yeah, no kidding.
I suspect it has something to do with an object overflow, because more often than not,
Potentially, yeah.
see that it happens where too many things are interacting, like crates being broken, health happening. It's not confirmed.
Yeah.
One of the few things we're still a bit in the dark on in this community, truth be told.
So one thing you may notice on this particular minigame are that there are 4 purple question mark boxes. One of those boxes usually tends to spawn an item. There are 1 of 3 items available. The multi-directional missiles, there's a projectile orb, and there is a force field, a magnetic force field that does a lot of damage to the enemy AI.
Can I get a highlight of that round after the fact? There is no way I missed 3 of those missiles there. I should have died. And the fact that
that
I
was
won is
insane.
hilarious.
There goes the missiles.
That is also true. You can lose a lot of time here very easily. Not necessarily at any fault of your own, but just because it's Warp 4, AI have cranked it as high as they are to go in regular 3.
And the
challenges.
difficulty is much higher than what you would anticipate. Especially even for a trophy round as well.
Nice juke by the Orc. Props. Okay, dude. Give me.
Oh, nice. Oh.
Rude. Rude.
The jukes. So there is an instance, like if within several frames you can actually steal the item from the enemy AI. If you jump at a particular spot, you can actually steal the item. Like, you don't see it happen that often, but when it does happen, it's hilarious. Yeah, the one annoying thing also are that, like, the AI can just grab one of those question boxes and they can just pick up Wampa. And there are random Wampa that also spawn on the map also.
Yeah, this is one of those that took about 8 years. I can't believe I actually won on time, but...
Yeah, I know. I mean, you had 12 seconds left. You had a little bit of cushion.
Just
But
barely.
the only thing I was just concerned about was the health left.
Health was the next concern. Truth be told, but
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you mentioned or not, but you notice how these white crates pretty much do nothing to health.
Little to no damage, yeah.
Wait till
It's-
we get to the other two challenges where they somehow
Oh
do
yeah,
even less.
it's much more unbearable to deal with.
Only reason I'm really hitting them and or getting rid of them is A, to spawn the TNT that shows up here.
Oh! Oh, the triple!
Beautiful. Take that, Quentin.
Wow.
That was probably one of the best trophies I've ever had.
That was insane.
Triple
Alright,
dipple.
this is, in my opinion, my least
Highlight.
favorite gem in the game, but this is actually, this is a make or break moment here, because you only have 30 seconds, and the same scenario that happened in the trophy happens here, where you have to get rid of all 3 AI characters before the timer's up. Getting power-ups like that actually does help, but when you get hit with a crate or whatever, it doesn't help at all. Oh.
Oh, that was it.
Oh, that was so close. Wow, almost got it first try. That was a nice try, though.
That box I hit with missiles were in there, but no.
Yeah, I know.
Game computer says no. That's about all I
Wow,
gotta say.
okay, that's a great start in this round.
You again, huh? No, you don't. Yes, he does.
Okay, that didn't despawn the item. That was very interesting, but you still got a good round out of that. Very nice.
If we're not gonna get first try, I'll take that. 14 seconds.
You know what? We still count that as first try, okay?
Pretty
that was
much.
an insane round.
I'll take that. That's a good cleanup. We respect it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, now time for the crystal. So the crystal is a little bit different. As we mentioned before, the crates and the TNT don't do too much. But however, in this situation, you cannot kick the purple crates. If you kick the purple crates, you automatically fail the challenge.
And fun fact, you don't even have to do it to have the game be very funny about it, because sometimes you can use the missiles, and those will hit the purple crates, and for whatever reason, a cloud of toxic dust will come out, and you will be down to like 2 or 3 health points, because the game is great programming, and that's just the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, it's insane.
Kind of ridiculous, but hey, don't question the ways of Mark.
Nice.
Especially
Very
when you get
nice.
moments like that. Thank you. Thank you.
That was a great crystal.
Very smooth, very smooth.
All right, we don't have to worry about potentially the game crashing anymore.
Thank you. What you say to that, I should probably save before Toxic, just for the hell of it. But yeah.
Yeah, you had a crash, I think it was like last week, right?
Yeah, something I'd only like to briefly mention upon. So remember, like forever ago when I talked about all trophies and 200%? Yeah, so imagine doing about 8 hours of the run. You're not necessarily in the home stretch, but you're getting close. You're about, must be 10 platinum relics away from the end, right? And then you come to a level called Toxic Dash. Notorious for almost no crashes ever at all, and then you crash. And
Yeah,
you
that
have it
was
saved
just
in about
that
an
was a
hour.
sad moment in speedrunning history, in my opinion.
That's a oof for me.
Yeah,
But are you going to use that bomb, or is it a fashion accessory? Come on.
I guess so.
Okay. Now he throws it. Boy, he's my
Just got it
fashion,
out of desperation there.
my fashion accessory.
Very nice. Got the 2-for-1 there.
Yo, Sin, thank you for the game designers take note. Exactly. Have more playtesters. Listen to them when they actually say stuff. Could not agree more. Oh boy. We'll
Oh.
take that.
That's one way to get out of the corner.
Right back in the corner. Oh, that's how we do. Oh,
Alright, you got Brio at least, so.
Ole. Alright.
Oh,
See if
wow.
I can do some fun stuff.
Got the 2-for-1 again at least. See, this is the kind of stuff you want in the gem challenge, where you get the AI characters instead of one.
panic.
3, 2, 1.
It's
So
true.
very nicely done there.
Good doubles. Can't-
Hopefully round 3 will go very smooth as well.
we shall. Alright. You guys want to deal with the small boy?
All right, Kong gone.
Oh, joy. Oh, good. Field goal.
Right between the 5 hole.
There we go. That's much better.
Mm.
Alright. You fellas want to come over here?
Where is the bomb?
Up there.
Okay, forget I said anything.
Oh, yes. Big, tiny, tiny, now average.
Indeed.
Ah, yes. This gem.
Yeah, Manic Gem is actually very interesting. I think it's 25 seconds, I believe.
Yeah.
And yeah, the difficulty, factor that in with the difficulty of the AI, or 30 seconds, excuse me. Factor that in with the AI at this point in the run. It's, I don't know, it's not a pleasant time.
Cannot believe I
But
just
when
got
you
what I
get
got.
when you get the push with Rilla there, that's insane.
You're not supposed to be able to get that in this gym.
Whoa! Hey, that's an elite strat right there.
Wow. Might be the fastest I've ever done that, and highlight, and wow. I hope Eggie's proud of me.
That's great. Okay, all right, now time for the crystals. So the crystal, same thing applies, except you don't start with the polar bear, you just start standing. So you have to defeat all the other AI while you're standing.
We're all so grouped together, I thought I had the bomb. I was incorrect.
Kong had it, but you got a massive break there.
Just about. Alright, we got
All right, who's got the bomb? It's Kong this time, but he got Rilla.
Kong bong, Kong bong. Yeah.
All right, Rilla's got it this time.
Let's go.
Oh, there goes Kong.
Wow, I think that didn't hit Rilla because he hit the freaking
Wow.
lightning at the same time. The beam, you know what I mean.
Just get the bomb and poof. There it goes. That's how the crystal's done, folks.
What did I do? Great name.
Oh, I see what you did there. that got a good laugh out of me.
You got me first try, Kong. Thank you very much.
You had me at Kong.
Very nice.
All right, we're coming up on the last tank level of this run. This is Jungle Fox. So, you have a whole map to move around. Those totem poles, they move after about, I think, 25 seconds at the beginning of the round.
Yeah.
And they drop down. I think one of them drops on the left side, and then the other one drops on the right side shortly after. So that's just kind of something to watch out for. But the AI shoot in multiple directions. Unfortunately, Tiny was caught in the crossfire there. And in this map also, missiles do spawn. So if you grab missiles, they're a significant advantage when you're facing the enemy AI. The particular strategy in this trophy or just in the challenges is to get a mine set up to the AI that's closest to your right. And that usually gets them to move along the opposite direction. And just like that, like, yeah, I was gonna say those mines, I thought that were gonna hit Kong, but yeah, I was right.
The splash radius on the mines here is a little silly. Sometimes they come to your benefit, but more often than not, if you played this enough like me, you can kind of get the idea of, okay, if I'm at this radius, I'm safe. If they're at this radius, they're probably going to hit me. Like, obviously, Rilla, if I can keep them, yeah, just like that.
And perfect timing as well, because now there's the missile spawn. Oh, no. Okay. Got Kong at least down to a sliver of health.
And Brio being himself. What? Excuse me?
What the? Was there a mine that spawned right there?
I think that was Kong's parting gift to me. Can't see.
Oh, yep, that was a mine. I just looked back at it.
Well, that was rude.
That's what you call sleight of hand, folks.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, you can.
Good old Call of Duty reference.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Alright, that's fine. Yeah, look who it is, part 2. Oh, wait. Yep.
May as well.
Yep.
May as well. That totem is right there.
Yeah, you see how much damage they get out.
Yeah, that's why you have to, like, if you're in a situation where the enemy AI is on the opposite side of the map there, you take advantage of those totem poles.
3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, so 2-1 advantage right now in favor of Tiny, so hopefully Cubbies can get one more win here with Tiny and move on to the gem. The gem is the same thing as I mentioned previously, but I think it's like
30?
was it 30 seconds, I believe?
Yeah,
Usually
kinda
Warp
tight here.
4 gems are like around 30 seconds or whatnot.
Ooh,
Just depends on what though.
If you're not hitting, that would be a problem.
It absolutely would have been.
This fella right here.
Yeah, that's the one thing I worry about here now.
Ooh, I'm alive.
Oh, that was unfortunate. Alright, well, I mean, the bad news is that
How dare you.
the AI players have 1 win each, but the good news is that Tiny still has the advantage. I meant that as no pun intended, okay?
That was a fantastic fun. You take full credit for that right now.
Oh no!
Alright, about that advantage. Arrivederci.
So about that RNG, yeah, you just got to be careful with those missiles.
So, commentator's curse. It's finally wrapped around, has it?
I guess so. Okay, enough with this curse. Come on.
You should not be having this fun of a time here. 1 or 2 losses, you know, that happens. Or, that's just it.
This is the jolly old time.
Oh, get
no.
that
Oh, no.
nonsense
Oh, no.
out of here. Thank you.
Okay, Brio got rid of those missiles. Thank goodness.
I'm gonna deal with the target that's actually right next to me, not the one that's across the street.
Yeah. Oh, that was close.
Oh, it would be one because it's him. Oh. I'm alive. I'm not alive. Stop
Oh,
this
no.
farce! Please!
3, 2,
Jungle Fox is like that sometimes, unfortunately.
It's never usually like this, though. I could make a topical news reference, but I have decided to not. Anyway.
Yeah, I'd probably be against it. At least you got Wampa there, so that's good news.
That's true. Yeah, now we're different. Oh, okay.
Oh, no. Oh,
This is really what's happening right now. Alright, he doesn't have it. Okay.
Tiny win.
Woo!
that was too close for comfort. Now, I wanted to warn that if Cubbies did lose that trophy round there, he would have to start all over on that trophy round.
It's true. Good point. Good point.
Yeah, but as people would say in chat, we take those indeed.
Good point, OJ. Okay.
All right, 30 seconds in the gem. Same scenario, just eliminate all the enemy AI. Oh, there goes Rilla already.
Oh, okay. I play this. Aw, man, you really had to do that to yourself, though. Oh, please.
Nice. That's a great redemption. We take those.
Oh.
All right, time for the crystal challenge. So the crystal challenge is a little bit different. The totem poles will not go down and randomly attack this time. Instead, they will target you and they will shoot bombs right at you.
3, 2,
So the best thing to do is just to keep moving around and not get hit by those.
Or, if you're hilarious like me, he spawned too quickly.
Yeah,
It can hit the AI for a reasonable amount of time.
yes it can. Which is very helpful actually in some situations.
Surprised that one didn't go after.
Ooh, that was a clean crystal. Okay, after such a very long stretch on that trophy, that was great redemption.
That was good. I'm proud.
Well done.
Yeah, I was just say I've seen a couple Bomberman 64 streams. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. All right, so one additional save here, just in case if the game does crash here on Toxic Dash, but that's exactly where Cubbies is going to go next.
It won't crash, but just for my own sanity.
Well, I mean, you never know.
I suppose. That is true. I was going to say, you've probably forgotten about it, but during our race, one of the first runs you probably had, actually, in this game, I was a little bit in the lead. We were both in the lead. I think I had this as my second or third to last split. And I want to say it was Toxic Dash Jim that stopped watching.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
So that was pretty fun. Needless to say, I never expected it to happen again. But wouldn't you know? Might be the only person who has it twice on record to have
exactly.
Toxic Dash twice. Like, okay.
Yeah, can't say that's happened to me before. I mean, I've had crashes in some of the other like crate levels, but yeah, that's bizarre. I had a crash in I think it was Space Bash.
Ah, yes. Had that
In that no movement race that we did.
No. That's over.
Yeah. All right, so this is the last of the racing mini games here. So Toxic Dash, I guess I can briefly explain. In the beginning of the map, there are barrels, those toxic barrels that if a vehicle hits, they are stunned for temporarily a couple seconds. There are also the force fields. They're like star-shaped icons that are all over the map. You want to try to avoid the enemy AI that have those. If you pick one up, that's perfectly okay because you can repel against the enemy AI as well. Same principle usually applies. There's Wumpa Fruit that usually help boost your vehicle. And then there's also the a random character. I forget who it is, but anyways, basically this character drops like 3 little like pellets of sludge that are all over the track. So you definitely want to avoid those.
Our goopy boy. Slime time. I haven't given him a name yet.
Yeah.
And about everything else in him. Yeah, coming.
The toxic monster, yeah.
Toxic Avenger. Goddamn. I'll get sued by Marvel.
Guess I gotta go prepare my Infinity Gauntlet then.
3, 2, 1, go.
So I'm pretty sure, Cubbies, you will be skipping the crystal on this, correct?
No, I'll actually do this.
Oh, you will do the crystal. Okay, so that's the one replacement by skipping the Metal Fox crystal in Warp 3. This is the crystal that Cubbies will end up doing. Now, normally I'm against doing the crystal because I'm not a fan of the crystal whatsoever. I would say it's the worst crystal, though. It's bearable to work with. But at the same time, the challenge is much harder to deal with. So we'll get to that in just a moment once Cubbies clears out both the trophy and the gem. Looking good so far in this trophy. One more lap. And there we go. That is basically just the trophy in a nutshell.
Nothing to it.
All right, gem challenge. I think it's still a minute 15, if I remember correctly, or a minute 30. I'm not
enough
sure.
time. Yeah, it'll be a minute 15. That's enough time. That question.
Yeah. So the same thing usually applies. You have to go 10 laps. The opponents have to go 8. And there are some situations, it hasn't happened in this run, but there are some situations in which either you or the enemy AI can actually skip a lap. It's precise movement, though, that has to occur on the map.
Rio might have gotten one like second round of that there. It is somewhat, it's uncommon, but it's possible.
Yeah,
Happens
it's more common that it occurs on Warp 5 when you're doing like all trophies or 200% per se.
Yeah.
And I've seen it happen multiple times. And the world record holder, Italy MN, usually does the lap skip on dot dash, which is in Warp 3. It's very hard to pull off, but it can be done. And then the lap skip can also happen, like if you despawn off the map while you're crossing the finish line to complete a lap, you can actually skip a lap by going out of bounds. Alright, this is the crystal that Cubbies usually does that I don't. So this crystal in particular, for the most part, you're trying to avoid all the sludge by either not going off the track or avoiding those little sludge pellets that spawn in the beginning of the map. Because what it does is it slows your vehicle down and you're temporarily moving slower than usual for a few seconds. And those few seconds can be very vital, especially when you're navigating through the track. So the strategy that Cubbies normally does in this situation is to try to stay as close to the inside as possible. Once, of course, he gets Wumpa Fruit. And Wumpa Fruit's very important as well, because if you see the enemy AI with a force field like that, for example, then it becomes very challenging to navigate through the track. So far, so good. One more lap and they'll be through this crystal. And there we go. Nice. Well done.
Usually falling off twice can be rather cutting it close, but they were surprisingly nice that time. So. Yay.
Yeah, that was very generous.
That was
All
it.
right, a couple more mini games left to go here, and I believe it's Padlock and Skyballs, and then Ring Ding afterwards.
Yep.
Which brings me to this, folks. If you have GM emotes, please feel free to post them in the chat, because this is, in my opinion, one of my favorite songs in the game. Like, it's so groovy.
If you haven't heard the main Crash Bash theme, which is itself based, this is the other one you've heard.
Just wanted to give it a second to let the song play out a little bit.
All good. I say feel free to post your jam emotes, and they are pretty awesome. So why not?
Oh yeah.
Aw, don't
All right.
be like that. Aw, he did.
All right, so really quickly, just to go over what's going on in this round, it's the same thing as any other Pogo level, but except if you hop over a same color of your own, your tiles despawn, and you have to start all over to collect points. Missiles, if you hit them against an enemy AI of their color, they'll change the color from theirs to yours. So if you shoot like Kong, for example, with a missile, all of Kong's blue tile squares will become yellow. In addition to that, also, trying to think what else there is. This is the only thing that we do is just the trophy in these runs, because the gem and the crystal are extremely hard. And that's why I put the crystal as my second hardest, because the only way you can score is by shooting a missile at the enemy AI and collecting a box. There is the padlock icon that you see on the upper right-hand corner there that Kong just picked up. Those temporarily prevent you from losing your tiles for just a few seconds if you step over the same color as yours. It does help in some situations, but it's mainly the missiles that become very vital in particular situations when you're trying to collect points.
Let's go. Good spawn.
That was a great spawn. That was actually needed too because Kong actually has a pretty decent lead here.
Surprisingly, I'm not worried about him. Monkey, I'm worried about. Gets to the padlock more often than most.
Yeah, that's usually the one thing that he always targets.
Kong can. He is right now. Oh, joy.
Yeah, I saw that one coming, unfortunately.
Not much I could do on it.
Yeah, just sometimes the padlocks, they randomly move in specific areas on the 8x8 grid.
Okay, now I'm worried. Let's go. Rio doing work.
Come on, get a box, get a box.
Any week game.
No! Dead. So, that, unfortunately, I will say this. The crate spawns are completely brutal on Pogo Padlock. So, what just happened was that Cubbies just got hit with a very bad brunt of RNG. That was brutal. Also, that was a nice missile.
That made it look.
Nice rebound. Of course, Brio gets the shoes. And gets that box as well. That's what happens when the enemy AI gets shoes. Like, there's just not much you can do.
Content. Oh.
In addition to that, also, like, they move much more smarter than usual, like the other, like, crate levels. Or the Pogo level, excuse me. Okay, I'm very worried about Brio right now. Like, he keeps scoring. Keeps scoring at will.
Dude.
Like, we're in the home stretch. You're trying to get to the finish line here, and then this happens.
Yeah, that's bad luck.
At least those shoes are helping you out big time.
There's another thing I call bad luck, but it probably wouldn't be the best to say here. But if you want to drop a follow on my stream, feel free to find out for yourself. There is legally nothing stopping you. Solid comeback, but
That was a very nice comeback. I didn't want to like say anything, but that was a great comeback.
thank you. Approve of
All right, bring it home, man. It's all you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Props to the
But-
shoes and the game allowing me to come back. It's part of the
Oh,
time
for
that-
sure, yeah.
Will the game allow you to come back? Do you have a chance to come back? Do you have the tools in the tool belt to know what to do if you're given the tools to come back? All of
Yep,
these
all
and
that and the answers can be provided by checking out
price
Crash
is
Dash.
Yes, that's it.
Can be yours if the bash is crashed.
Exactly.
Inserts Prices Right losing horn here.
Oh snap! Save me.
When you're playing the polar levels, and literally when you're knocking two AI out at once, double elimination winner.
Yeah.
In reference to the double showcase, of course.
Nice. Very nice. That was a cute one. I almost never get to do it there. When I just did over there, almost like the reverse strat of Pogo Locos. I had a corner all to myself, and I had that box right in the bottom right over there. I was able to encircle it with a square such that I maximized my points, and no one was going to get anywhere near me. No missiles or anything, so it worked
Yeah.
out. 150 here is nuts.
Yeah, that's actually really good. Also, GG's on finishing the trophy there. Congrats.
Thank you.
Time for one of my least favorite trophies in this run, Skyballs.
Thanks for the raid, Cow. Oh yeah. Skyballs. Now you guys think you've seen pain before, Embolism. Oh, you haven't seen nothing yet.
It's my least favorite trophy in this entire run, and I can say a bunch of things about it, but I'd rather not. I guess I'll just go over the mechanics on how this stage works. You move a lot.
Before you start, I will surmise it as a square peg meets a round hole. But yes, continue.
Something like that. It's like you're trying to basically trying to fit the right shapes into the perfection board, but you don't have enough time because you can't concentrate.
Yeah, game ships in 2 weeks, so we're gonna make this stage square or circular. We're gonna make square. Okay, cool. Send it out.
Same day shipping.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Anyways, so the mechanics of how Skyballs work: your vehicle moves a lot faster when you're holding L1 or R1 and you're trying to move over to a particular side. And as you might have saw, also the propellers, the engines, usually go away every so often, how it tilts over to the left. There's only 3 directions that this platform moves. I know it moves on both directions on the bottom. I forget which direction on top it moves.
Top left.
Top left, thank you.
Yeah,
So
the turbines fail periodically, so it's like a reverse of Embolism, where instead of one side gets a power up, it's the stage decides which of the two gets slightly less favored. And
yeah, and it's all RNG based as well. You don't know which direction it's going to go unless you know of where it starts at.
Pretty much. You can go, it's going to fail left or right or whatever, but it's less helpful here.
Correct.
Well, yeah, it depends on who's doing the best, like Pong right now, and B, there's only so much you can do with it. The game's going to decide. There's only so much skill you have involved in the matter.
Yeah, exactly. So the other thing as well that can happen are if you look at how the turbines are set up on each corner of the map, or the platform I should say, there's actually a possibility that a ball can actually wrap around one of those turbines, and you can actually shoot it into an opposite player's goal that are adjacent to you. The AI players can also do that to one another as well, even to you, of course. So we've seen that happen on more than one occasion, unfortunately. Not to say that it happens all the time, but when it does happen, it stinks. As a famous line from SpongeBob once said, "Oh, brother, this guy stinks." That line still holds up to this day. I love it.
Man has it on his Discord sound.
I even have it on my point redemption thing as well for my stream.
That's heard it, yeah.
It's great.
I should have some of those.
Yeah. I know RGL has their own soundboard as well in their particular Discord server. I just don't know what's what. I'll have to look over after this is over. Anyways, the same goal as any ballistic level. It's 3 trophy wins and you get the trophy. But this can be a challenge for any new player even as well. This trophy can be a real bad challenge.
Also, the eagle-eyed or veteran bash runners among us may have noticed that the shield goes a little bit further here than it does on any of the other stages. Again, why did they do it like that? I don't know.
Yeah, the mechanics for Skyballs, they're much different. The kickback shield goes at a much further distance. I don't know if it's intended to be programmed as part of the game, but I mean,
Mark has yet to respond to the email, so I don't.
Yeah. But in addition to that, also, as I mentioned before, the crystal is probably one of the worst, if not the worst crystal in the game.
Yeah.
So you start with 10 points each. Yeah, that's a given. I mean, that's fine. But here's the real kicker in all this. The enemy AI could shoot any of the balls that are on stage, and that ball becomes a red ball. The red ball is an instant kill. And I say this is really bad also because it can unexpectedly happen when you're close to their goal, or you get what's called impossible red ball. So what that means is that if the red ball goes at a specific angle headed towards your goal, and it's headed in the corner where you're standing, you have nowhere to go, That's what you call an impossible red ball. We've seen it on Oxide Ride before, and if it happens, you know, I'll call it out. But that usually it's very notorious in the Skyballs crystals, so that's one thing to point out as well.
Rilla, are we for real right now?
It's okay. This will turn around.
Nate, do your commentary. Come on, Nate.
Rilla, are you gonna be nice or not? Okay. Now the game is starting to cooperate a little bit.
On 20 there.
I don't want to. I don't want to
no
provide
way.
a commentator's curse, though. You know.
Hey, we just had one go both ways a second ago, so take a little karmic justice in my direction.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
I may not be owed it, but I think I know.
You are definitely owed it for sure. No doubt.
Physics.
But also, like, can we get a good balance of points here between Rilla and Kong, please? Thank you, game.
Let's see what we can do. Yeah, this is
Looking good so far, though.
This isn't horrible. I can manage.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that helps.
Yay,
That actually helps a lot. With the turbine going down on the upper left there, that actually helped out quite a bit. And that is a clean sweep of the Skyballs trophy, and we are out of there.
Bad, not bad at all.
Nice.
2 left.
All right. So it is time. I think it's Ring Ding and then just Oxide.
Yay.
So one last thing before we mention anything about Ring Ding is that the reason why some gems and crystals were skipped at some point during the run was because for any percent you need a specific amount of trophies, gems, and crystals. So the total that you need for all of that are 22 trophies, 15 gems, and 12 crystals to get access to Oxide Ride. All right, now for this challenge for Ring Ding, it's it's actually the first and only medieval mini challenge game that Cubbies does in this run. So when I say medieval challenge, basically it's a 1.5-minute challenge to where it's like it's point based, but it's like one of those mini games where you just try to collect points. In this particular case, you're collecting balloons if you can. So right there are 2 icons that you can pick up, the vacuum being one of them, and the vacuum brings over your color balloon that you can jump to.
I got a clip of that. That was so funny.
And that was actually really good. I noticed that you sniped that from Rilla. That was insane.
I never am able to do that here, but to do it in front of the marathon, that's just fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. So with those amount of points, you would think that Tiny's safe, right?
Yes, and he is.
Right. You are safe now,
Now I am.
aren't you?
Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna do
The good side of the commentator's curse.
Whee! Ooh, I stayed in place.
Yeah, you can do that by holding L2 or R2, by the way.
Usually you move with the platform, but that time it was hey, I'll do it again,
Yeah.
assuming I have enough points.
Oh, and by the way, yeah, you had the shoes and you didn't move anywhere. I
Yeah.
noticed that.
That was pretty funny.
And the other power-up that you can get besides the vacuum is the shoes. So the shoes you can move in any direction on the circles. You notice how normally it shifts either clockwise or counterclockwise. The black balloons that are on the map as well can either change the balloons to your color temporarily. They can eliminate the other balloons that are not yours. Or it could change the direction in which the map is spinning. Either or can be valuable at some point during each round.
I think we should also mention the gem and crystal.
Yeah, so the gem and the crystal, well, the gem is a little bit different than what you normally see here. So I guess this is a coding thing. I don't know if it's in particular with this version of Bash, but I don't know if it's true. So in this version of Bash, these second and fourth player, so in this case being Brio and Rilla, they can't score points. So basically, when they score points, they're scoring them for either you or for Kong, depending on which player is which. So think of it like 2v2 if that's the case. And for the crystal, if you touch basically a opposing colored balloon, you automatically fail.
So I believe it is NTSC specific. I know they fixed it on PAL. JP, I can't remember. Some other Bash runner would have to verify.
Yeah.
But, I know for a fact.
I mean, if I casually play through the JP version at some point, which maybe I will probably do that, then I can test that out. But I don't know for sure. I'll be honest.
I can never remember. I just know it wasn't up on PAL. Oh my goodness! Kong did a double jump. That's a highlight. Okay.
That's actually insane.
Okay.
Can't say that I've seen that before.
I saw that before for like the first time almost ever, like a week and a half ago when I did it by accident.
That's unreal. To see it twice in less than 2 weeks is unbelievable.
Yeah, that one I thought my disc was having. Sad, but I guess that just was the thing.
Also, this is not looking too good right now.
That's fine.
Still early in the round though.
I've come back.
Yeah.
Much
Like in my PB last night, prior to this, at the time that this marathon's happening, I think it was 2 ties at the very end. Oh. That's a brutal way to get Rilla to get a vacuum.
Come on.
Oh.
Serious.
What did the vacuum just despawn?
Yeah, that's another fun fact. I was
okay, can't say that I've seen that like too many times. I've seen that like a handful of times.
Welcome to Yup My Luck. How you doing? The outside, so it didn't come up in Drain Bash because it didn't happen, but I suppose now is as good a time as any where I'll briefly mention on the subject that in here and in Drain Bash, for whatever glorious coding reason that shall only be hopefully discovered someday when we get the source code for Bash, the outside third of the arena, including that circle that you saw here, items can just despawn because they really don't like the player. I don't. But that's as good a guess as I have right now. So that's what's happened there. And you all were robbed of the glorious comeback. So I apologize if this game was coded with spaghetti and duct tape. Nothing I can do about that, I'm afraid. Also, this
it's
is
unfortunate.
going very well, as you can see.
Still early.
Okay, any day now. Where's my box?
I haven't seen one in a while.
Where have they gone? You are funny.
Oh boy. Like everybody keeps going in that particular area.
Come on. Winning on merit anyway. Come on.
Oh no! Almost had it.
3, 2, 1, go.
I should also mention Ringding hates me something fierce, and it's been a while since it's been this funny. I think my channel trailer is...
I can't believe that happened.
I think my channel trailer is evolved around that as well. Rio just double jumped. What is going on?
And Rolo's got the vacuum.
What in the world is going on with this game?
Yeah, this is unbelievable.
2 double jumps in the same trip. Too funny. Sorry about estimate, but I think we should be close if the game actually decides to let me win here. Usually even on my worst one, it's like a 2:15 or whatever, but this game has been extra funny. And
like this RNG has been awful. And you don't see it that often, but like when it does happen, it accumulates.
Yeah, it doesn't really stop, ever. Yeah, until the game says so. Wow, double items at the same time. You don't see that every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we're pretty well set.
Yeah, you're
Box comes
100%
out.
safe here. Unless like a random vacuum just happens, but even then I don't think they would have enough points to catch up here.
Yeah. Such a fun game.
Tiny wins.
All right, you got at least 3 though, so it's going to be very close.
We'll see. I'll go for 2 oxide.
I mean, it depends on what happens. I'd say maybe 2 or 3 would be your best bet here. All right, so here comes Oxide, folks. There are 2 phases for this particular stage. You have to navigate through the first part of the course, and you want to take as much damage as possible without losing all of your health, because that makes the first phase go by much quicker. And another thing also with the second phase when it comes up is that Oxide's difficulty is extremely high, and we intentionally fail for the particular reason that we try to ease the difficulty for Oxide. So that's what Cubbies is trying to do right here. The Cubbies is going to hug that right side, intentionally hit this, and not get hit by a missile. And there we go. That's usually the strat that most runners try to do. And Cubbies got it first try, so kudos. Alright, so we intentionally take a death here. Usually, that's a good first phase. Usually, Oxide is extremely difficult in that first phase, so by taking a death there, we try to ease Oxide's difficulty. And then, yeah, just go from there. So that is 1 death on Oxide. Usually when we say like Oxide 2 or Oxide 3 or whatever, we take a couple of intentional deaths depending on what the situation is. There's also a random red ball that spawns out of nowhere that usually just happens every now and then. So that's an insta-death, as I said before. Alright, so Cubbies is going to go for a 2 Oxide situation here. If it doesn't work out, then he'll try to go for Oxide 3. But Oxide, as you can see, is extremely smart when it comes to going after the ball spawns on their side.
2.
It's 8 balls to go into Oxide's goal. And time comes up when the last ball goes into Oxide's goal. So we'll call that out once that happens.
3.
That's 3. Looking good so far.
That's all that quick. That's good.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe it's like 16 for your health to like degenerate or whatever, like when you're completely out.
Like that, yeah.
Right now, about halfway home on Oxide. It's got 4 more to go. And Oxide can be pretty brutal at times.
Sometimes he gives you help like this, and then it's just, yep, no more of the rest of the way.
5. There's 6.
I
Got
one
2 more.
Stuck in the missile thing.
Oh. Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Okay.
Alright, looks like we're going 3 Oxide here. Oh, how did he kick that out?
Rude. There you go.
Alright, that's 1. I remember it is 8 balls that have to go in Oxide's goal in order for the game to finish. 2.
I need you. Yep. 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 Yep.
Oh, that red ball is still a problem. Now it's gone.
Yeah. He doesn't take any damage if it goes into his goal or he touches it. 'Cause, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing also applies to you, the player, as well. All right, so 4 are in Oxide's goal. 5, 6. Come on, 2 more.
Come on.
Come on. 1 more. Time.
Can't split.
All right. That was a pretty interesting finish there. It is 2:22:17 for the finish, by the way.
Thank you. I don't know why I could split, but there you go. I'm out.
But yeah, that was a very interesting run. GG's and congrats on the finish.
Yeah. Let's go.
But first and foremost, thank you again, Retrothon, for having us here. We really, really do appreciate it. Sorry that this didn't go the way that we would have expected it to. That's just how Bash goes in a nutshell. But sometimes you just got to roll with the punches and just, go from there.
That's true. Yeah, thank you very much, Ant. Appreciate it. Thank you for the GGs, everyone. I don't know why the splits aren't working. I have it still as start, but it's not going. But yeah, Nate's right. 2:22.
Yeah, I was able to catch the correct time there, and yeah, it was 2:22:17 for the final time.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, thank you very much, Retrothon, for having both of us on. I really, really do appreciate it. If you haven't followed Cubbies already, please be sure to follow Cubbies. Shout out was given in chat, and also will be provided as well. And thank you as well for the shout out, and to really do appreciate it. Myself in particular, I will be back on Monday morning with Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. But yeah, I'll let you go ahead and sign us off, Cubbies. Go right ahead.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime. Thank you guys again for having me and Nate on board here. Really do appreciate it. It's been an honor and a pleasure doing this. I'm very thankful for the opportunity. Oh yeah, I forgot. We got this run done, a little overestimate, which makes me a little bad, but let's fucking go. We got Oxide done. Yeah. I get to use my one. So anyway, y'all rock. Appreciate you guys for having me. Glad to get bashed in a big speedrunning setting again, and just an honor and a privilege to be here with Nate, my dude, who has helped out at MagFest before. We've both been runners and commentators before, and I hope it's not in poor taste, but I hope we can at least get Bash, maybe all trophies or 200% into a really, really long-a-thon. I know they've got something coming up in October, so hopefully we can get that into there. Looking forward to it. I know Nate might be able to get something in there.
Yeah,
he might get
definitely
something into there, but yeah, I'll certainly set my sights on it if and where I can. But yeah, thank you guys for having us. I really do.
Yeah, thank you very much. You guys are really appreciated. And again, I'll be back on Monday with Forbidden Memories. But until then, thank you again, Retrothon, for having us, and we will see you all real soon. Take care, everybody.